Something has got to happen because we can no longer go down the path that we're going down. This country won't last another 6 months. This country won't last another 12 months if something doesn't happen. So it's time to flip the switch. It's time to get involved. It's time to move the line forward. And if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I don't care what flip the switch is. I don't care if that means that all of this nonsense is nonsense, or if some of it's true. All right. Welcome, Warriors, World Patriots, and my fellow Americans. My name is Mike. I'm the host of Liberty Warrior. Give me liberty or give me death. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. It is Tuesday night, May 24th, 2022. I got a co host with me tonight, Tammy, the Hammer Nation. We got a lot to talk about, a lot breaking right now that we want to put out there. So do me a favor, folks. Do me a huge favor. We got to break this algorithm that that the wonderful YouTube likes to put us under. So if you guys could share this out, that will help break that algorithm. Share tonight's show out. Let's get some new people subscribed. I saw Lisa Monarch subscribed with new membership. Thank you, Lisa, for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, a lot going on. Tonight's show is brought to you by Miles Franklin. Let me check Let me check silver real quick because I checked today. It bounced up to $22 an ounce. I know that the market was kind of up and down too, a lot of things going on, but
Mhm.
Miles Franklin is a big supporter of LWN. Silver right now is at 22.13, gold is at 18.68 an ounce. You guys, if you want to get your hands on silver before it skyrockets, now's a good time. You can go to info@milesfranklin.com. Use promo code Liberty Warrior Nation. Yes, that helps us out here. It helps us keep the lights on. I just paid for another year's subscription for the website today. So it takes money to keep the show rolling. And we appreciate each and every one of you who can help us by either sharing this video out tonight on all your social platforms, for the
Mhm.
memberships that people put in for us on all the channels, for the super chats. I turned on a new one tonight as a super thank you. So
Oh,
we made it to another level. There's a super thank you in there somewhere. I haven't checked it out yet, but I turned that one on too. So anyway, Tammy, when you called me this afternoon and said you got to check this stuff out, and you started telling me everything that was rocking and rolling here in America, man, I tell you what, buckle up, folks. Tonight's going to be a great night.
yeah, it's hard to keep up, and I keep saying that. Like right before we got on, actually, there's breaking calls in the Georgia E that just went down, and one of the things is surprising. But yeah, there's a lot not only with the V stuff going on, voter stuff. There's different things that are going on investigative wise and breaking across Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, and that's why we have the title that we have. So there is once again a bunch of puzzle pieces on the move at the same time here. And I have to say, here in Georgia, I went out today and voted, and there were a lot of people there. The good news is, Mike, that it was very clean, neat, organized. They kept people at a distance as far as if once you did what you had to do, you had to go by the exit. You couldn't hang around. So I was really impressed with that. So I'm in a little town, so I'm interested to see and find out with everybody else. Maybe in chat they can tell us how their situation went when they went to the polls.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, a lot of information that we want to share with you guys tonight. I think a lot of it that we're going to talk about with the raids on the NGO homes. This is definitely information. It's great information. It's information that we need to share out and let other people know that there are a lot of things transpiring. I know we've been waiting a long time for this. Maricopa County has been on my mind for months and months and months. We were reporting on it almost daily. It kind of went silent, went dark on us. But I think with everything that came out with the two with the 3 zeros behind it and the
Uh-huh.
donkeys, I think that just really ignited a lot of things to start happening. Plus, you got Lindell and the stuff that he was a big part of what happened there in Maricopa County. um, the sheriff's department there in Wisconsin that also got involved in some of this stuff. Just so many things going on across America, and I think they're finally starting those puzzle pieces, like you said. They're starting to kind of fit together and come together
Hmm.
and form. And I think we're about to see some amazing things happen here very shortly. Thank you, Red, for the super chat. I love it. Love you, Patriot Mike. Thank you, Red. Our brother Red, he's always there. I'm looking forward to getting him back on the show as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to you, Tammy, for a minute here, and just
Okay.
drop the hammer.
Well, let's start here in Georgia. So before I get to what some of the results are in already, which is a good thing, because as we know, Mike, in Pennsylvania, they still are counting, isn't it, a weekend? So for some reason, they can't seem to get the counts done there. I haven't heard any news on that, but they're
Well,
calling
I
some of it.
have. I
What?
have.
Tell me.
Okay. So I'll tell you what's going on. They can't finish the count because there's supposedly some of those things that they put in the old mailbox that's still sitting around. Imagine that. Isn't that what we heard in 2020?
Yes.
That they were waiting on all that. So it definitely smells super fishy to me. And the thing is, Tammy, I reported on this today at Headline Hits. And Dr. Oz is actually endorsed by Trump. And
Yes.
so Dr. Oz is ahead right now. And the other candidate is the one that's waiting on those things that come in the old mailbox to help. Well, let's see, probably 3 o'clock in the morning to, this morning, all of a
Yeah.
sudden he'll take the lead. Does that sound familiar? Kind of sounds familiar, right? So
Mhm.
that's what they're holding on to. Thank you, United We Stand, brother John Esterbrooks, for the super chat. He says 18 children are deceased in a school Texas shooting and
Mhm.
one teacher. That was also breaking. I did see
Yeah.
some of that. And it's amazing how all of a sudden all these things start happening during those times when people show up at those little boxes and fill out that little piece of paper. It's amazing how all this stuff kind of plays a part.
Yeah, it is all apart. So we'll get back to Mr. T and the statement he made. He said, just out, there's 102 Georgia counties. They can't produce the drop B word videos for the 2020 E. He said, thus, the video monitoring is missing for catch this number. The video is missing for 181,507 cast Bs, approximately 18 times more than he needed to have won here in Georgia. It's a total of 100 or 1.7 million images that were destroyed and not allowed. And he said it's the fault of Governor Kemp. And unfortunately, just in now, Kemp has took the lead, and apparently they're calling Kemp. He won against Purdue here in the polls, and that means he's going to run against Stacey in the general election. So that's kind of disappointing here because we know that Mr. T did endorse Purdue. So, but the good news is Herschel Walker did win here in Georgia. Good. So that's a good thing. And when it comes to Brad Raffensperger, who is not great, his race against Heiss is even. So there's nothing. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out since they're tied right now. But Mr. T was right about all these numbers and stuff. And you stop and think about this, Mike, about he only needed, what was it like? The E here was called by 11,000 something votes, right?
Yeah.
So
yep.
he's saying there's 181,000 that are the video missing for cast Bs, which means what? Even if he won half of them, he would have won here. It would have been a landslide.
He wouldn't even have had that. He wouldn't even have had to have half of them. I'm going to turn my camera off for just a minute. I got to fix something real quick on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm here, so I'm listening. I can make comment. I'm just turning the camera off.
And also another interesting thing, you guys, here in Georgia, Mr. T said there's at least 3 Dem counties that their polls are going to be staying open later than anybody else. And they are in Dem areas. So he says there's at least 3 of them that's happening in, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So we have to see and find out if more than that end up staying open late. And obviously we have to wait and see what the results are going to be for that. But also, we have learned from votergeorgia.org, they are also putting information out. So if you guys have never gone there, voterga.org, they have an update on all the different things going on as far as the numbers, the videos, and things like that. Because Mike was right, that 200 documentary did open the floodgates for all these different kinds of investigations to go on and stuff. And they're finding a bunch more, let's say, lost stuff, and they're discovering stuff that should be there that is not. So it's going to be interesting to find out how, like I said, all this unfolds down the road. It's just been an interesting day here. Like I said, when I went to my polls today, they were very diligent about keeping an eye on everybody, and they did actually take my picture and my ID card and my license to make sure I was who I was. And they were very persnickety about everything. And there was a lady that was trying to go back to meet somebody she came with who was still at their little booth there. And she said, oh, no, 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 you can't go back there. There are certain rules. It's strict rules that we have to follow. So you're not allowed back there. And she did make her stay by the exit door. So like I said, even though it was just a little community that I'm in, I was really impressed at the way they handled it. And I saw in the chat that some of you guys said where your polling places were, that they were really on top of that there as well. So that gives me a little bit of hope as far as this going on here. But like I said, with Kemp winning again, they didn't really expect that. Then we also we can go to Michigan, you guys, because the Michigan Election Board states that there's 5 GOP challengers to, Miss Whitmore, that they wanted to vote out there, that they're ineligible because they have invalid signatures. She said that also the Michigan Election Board frontrunner, James Craig, who was the former Detroit police chief, also is one of them that was flagged for invalid signatures. They are claiming that there were 68,000 fraudulent signatures for 10 different GOP people that were running against them in this state of Michigan. So the problem is, it's not the Dems, it's all the GOP people. So what does that tell you right there? That they want signatures validated, but not for anything else, right? So when we go for the ID and stuff,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying, Mike? So it makes no sense. So a lot of people in Michigan are not happy with this. And but a good bright spot is I reported, a couple weeks back that there are investigations going on across Michigan from the 2020 deal, that the police lieutenant in Irving Township, they did seize certain machines, okay, because they're doing a major investigation there. And he stated that it is just expanding. The more they find out, the more they're checking out, and the more it's going on. So my point is, between Georgia and Michigan, there are things happening. There are things moving.
Yeah, and these NGO homes that we're talking about tonight, folks, this is where a lot of this stuff actually originated from, and there are actually quite a few raids going on, and we heard about some of them earlier. What was it, about 2 weeks that this whole thing kicked off? It was right around the same time that two with the 3 zeros documentary just came out. um this thing is going to be bigger than anyone could ever imagine, that's for sure.
Well, bringing up that 200 documentary, you guys, Greg Phillips is the expert, the 30-year expert, and he's in that right? That documentary. He came out on Truth Social today and stated that the first 2 dominoes have fallen in Arizona. Raids on the NGO homes to confiscate computers, etc., from the boss. Much more to come. So then there was somebody who follows him and said, this better be real. And Greg's response was, it is 100% real, that there's 2 early arrests that pled out and rolled over on their bosses. He said, so game on and more to come. So now here's the other state, Arizona. We've got this kind of stuff going on. So we've got machines that are being investigated. We've got the paper stuff that, and the video surveillance in different places that should be there, that's not, and stuff like that. So it's just very interesting of everything that's going on. And like I said, Greg Phillips is the guy, he's the expert, the computer and data expert for 30 years in this. So he's on it, Mike, in Arizona.
I want to say thank you to Carlene for the super sticker. And then Jeff B just dropped a super chat that says on Durham watch. We've been paying attention to Durham for quite a while, and Jeff has actually called me a couple times to let me know about what's going on with Durham. Listen, all I'm gonna say is I am excited. Okay, I'm excited, high energy, because I believe we're going to see a shift. I believe we're going to see things come out that I believe a lot of people didn't imagine was going to actually happen, but it is happening. I think Durham is on the case. I think Jeff B is right. I think uh, these house of cards are collapsing, and I don't think there's anything anybody can do to stop it. They're still running the same game plan as always, and it's it's kind of comical to see these people. They don't have any new strategies, any new game plans. It's the same thing that they've always done, and this time it's not going to work.
Well, Cash Patel came out because he's on Truth Social too. Okay, so Cash Patel has a little synopsis. It's called Durham Watch, and he said another big day today. So what he said today was the three-letter agency that begins with the F said. He said they lied to itself and the world when they opened the fraudulent Alpha Bank server investigation, just like they did with the Steele dossier info. He said Comey and McCabe, along with Stroke, were all in a tizzy to get bogus investigation launched. And the F Place investigation said, it was a typo. It was a typo. And all this information was a typo. They didn't know any better. So basically, they're trying to make it that we're so stupid, we're going to believe everything was an accident, a mistake, a typo. When we know it came out, we reported on, it was in their own notes, handwritten notes that these people, they have, that Durham has. And not only that, it's emails amongst each other and different private meetings that went on. Okay, so that what's nice about this is it's in all documentation in their own handwriting and it's in their own words.
Mhm.
So it's not hearsay.
Okay, I want to address Jeff B's super chat, which is, hey Joe, where was your motorcade in Buffalo? But I want to pause that for just a minute because I want to address another thing in the chat. What is an NGO? It is an NGO is that nonprofit organization. Now I'm going to refer back to the two with the 3 zeros behind it and the donkeys. Remember what they set up in that plan. It was multiple NGO drop-offs or pickups, I should say. They went to the NGOs to pick up certain papers, and then they had to go to at least 10 different drop locations to drop off those piece of papers. So what we're telling you is those NGOs where those papers were being stored have been raided. And that's what Tammy is referring to. So hopefully that helps you guys understand a non-governmental organization is correct, John Estabrooks. But that was the holding station. That's where they all went late at night to, get their little Scooby snacks and go drop them off. So hopefully that answers the question for you. I don't want to get too far off topic because we have a lot to cover, but Jeff B is correct. And I reported this the other day because Jeff called me in the morning and said, hey, did you check this out? And I think I reported this on Headline Hit. So there was a certain person that was paying attention to this, not Jeff B, somebody else. And when the plane landed in Buffalo, allegedly, whoever that person was that got off of AF1 got into a motorcade, and there was only three vehicles in the motorcade. There was next to no security. We talked about this the other day. It smells really funny and doesn't make any sense. No apparent normal security sweeps 48 hours before the arrival. Supposedly, allegedly, man covers were not welded shut. Supposedly, allegedly, other agencies were not informed, which is normal protocol. Just really unusual circumstances. Let's just put it that way. And believe me, there's a lot of people that are bird dogging this entire operation, watching and paying attention and letting us know what is going on and what is not going on and what smells funny. So Yeah, that's what Jeff B is referring to in that super chat. Is there was only 3 vehicles in the motorcade. It's kind of like when um, Obama showed up at the White House, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's another one of those most popular presidents of all time, and he only had like 3 small
Oh
SUVs in
yeah.
his motorcade. Made no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever.
It's not very presidential, is it, for the most popular president ever, right? So, and you can, in comparison, you can look at Mr. T's motorcade anytime he goes anywhere to a rally or anything. And I'll never forget the last time he went to the border. The video that came out on that, it was amazing how many cars that he had, not just the big dark SUVs, the police escort, the motorcycles, et cetera, et
Motorcycles.
cetera. I mean,
Well,
it's
Z-Man almost got ran over. So Z-Man actually went. Everybody loves Z-Man. Z-Man got a call from his. I'm probably going to mess this up, but I'm close. It was either his aunt or his sister or something. She actually works with the RNC or has something to do with like the RNC. She got a heads up that Trump was actually coming through the area where Z-Man was close to living, and so he went out there. It was really neat. He did a video. He was on the side of the road as T was driving through. Almost got ran over. It looked like, because when Trump comes through, he's actually got an escort. There's like 2 motorcycles in front, then a cop car, then 2, 3, 4 SUVs, and then another cop car and a couple motorcycle cops. Now that's an escort for a president. When you're talking about the other 2 clowns, a couple SUVs, nobody standing on the side of the road waving at them. Matter of fact, a lot of times they turn their backs when those guys go through town. So pretty amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And anytime he goes anywhere, Mr. T, it's an amazing amount of energy. So, like we say, if you want to still believe that Mr. B was the most popular president ever, go ahead. But I have serious concerns for you, definitely, at this point in the game. Another thing is we got to remember, Mike, with all this coming out with the 3-letter agencies and the Sussman trial and stuff, it's coming out that, I said, what was it? I think it was on our Podbean on Monday that, there was a whole list of people that knew all this was BS that came out after Mr. T, including Mr. Obama. And, this was the first time ever that a president left office. And it's in writing now and coming out that this president colluded to impede another sitting president of the United States of America. So this is what Obama has done. And we know what that represents is the treason word, right? And Jay Sekulow, I also reported before that him and his agency supplied a Freedom of Information Act request. And they found in this Freedom of Information Act request some bombshell information, which includes, that came out today. It was a off-the-record conversation between Foreign Minister Zarif of Iran and former Obama-era officials during Mr. T's administration. So the document they received, he said, was never before seen, and it shines the light on how many lengths and how many ways a bunch of different people went against this administration of Mr. T's. So that in itself is a whole nother bucket of nasty worms that's coming out. You know what I mean? Not just the V word. It's crazy. So
people better be ready, because as this stuff breaks, I already told you, Tammy, we'll come on whatever time stuff breaks, because it's springtime here in Idaho. And when do birds sing, Tammy?
In the spring.
They sing in the spring. And we've got the court case that you're speaking of right now, which is Cessna, right? Sussman. We still have Hunter Biden. We still have Hunter Biden in the laptop from hell. That hasn't even really broke too much yet. But I'm telling you right now, that thing's going to crack wide open, and that is going to take down so many people, including Mitt Romney, including Pelosi and Schiff and the rest of them. they're all tied to that, including the current family that starts with a B. They're all wrapped up in that. And then I'm telling you, there's just too much to even keep up with. I think a person once told us, drip, 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 garden hose to the face. And I think it's garden hose to the face.
I absolutely agree with you, Mike. And it's but I say it's an exciting time now because people were saying nothing's happening, and we've gone over that a million times. But boy, there's nothing like seeing Durham walking into court, and I love it. Here he is. He's real. He's breathing. He's got his briefcase full of stuff, and he's dropping stuff out left and right. But see, it is a chain reaction because as well planned as this was to go against Mr. T, it took all this time to gather the evidence because you can't just say it's there because then everybody says, you're a conspiracy theorist and you need the documentation, you need the proof. But I always say and liken it to, it's like just this web of lies, whether you want to go into what they're doing with the children and what they're teaching them, whether it's, the voting thing or whether it's, anything else. There's just, it's corrupt all over the place. And now that we're starting to see actual documentation, everything that they accused Mr. T of is swung back on them. Everything. And so far, we've said this before too, he's been right about it. But now, see, people like us, and we don't want to preach to the choir here, but we have information that we can hand out to people and say, hey, did you check this out? Did you check this out? What do you think of this? These people that seem to want to be heads in the sand or blinded to what's going on or exhausted saying, hey, nothing's ever going to happen. Well, we have stuff that we can present to them now or places they can go to actually see it for themselves. And to bring up the Hunter thing, I have not had a chance to go through all those emails and everything on that laptop, but that was released in full. And it also has been verified. I think it was WSJ or something came out today, and they got validation and verification that everything on that laptop is 100% valid and true.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And remember, that was a conspiracy theory. We were all called a bunch of crazies that never existed. And now it is fact. It cannot be debunked or any of that nonsense. It's fact. Folks, please tonight, if you can smash the like button to get that algorithm up so more people can find us, and if you can share this video out tonight on any of your social programs, I would greatly appreciate it. We got to break the algorithm that YouTube has really tried hard to keep us down. But the great thing about it is we've got a lot of people that are now trickling over from Twitter, from True Social, from Frank Speech, a lot of new faces, new names in chat. Welcome to LWN. And thanks for all your guys' help. It's just, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of warrants and a lot of arrests starting to happen, Tammy. Your thoughts on that?
I'm looking forward to it because, what's been circulating again, and it puts a smile on my face every time, is when Mr. T was in the debate with Hillary, and she was smarting off to him, and she said, we don't need a man like you in charge, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, if I were, you'd be in jail. So, that makes me laugh every time because guess what? I think we're getting pretty close to something like that happening. And people will say, you know what, maybe it was really worth all this time and effort because you know what, Mike, if this didn't get exposed and he won and they let him win or whatever, he did win, and this didn't happen, there's so many things that we wouldn't know. There'd still be little nooks and crannies of things that are hidden, things that are in the dark that hadn't been brought to the light yet with corruption and stuff, whether it's, with the Ukraine or the elections and stuff like that. But it happened. It's all being exposed, and it's opened our eyes and put a fire under our butts to pay attention to what's going on and realizing, boy, when you stay asleep, there's all kinds of things that happen because unfortunately, power and money corrupt too many people. They can be bought and sold because you look at these people that are like, Mitch McConnell and them, and that are rhinos and stuff, that they can be bought and sold, and you think they would eventually have enough money and power, but they never do. So I think in the end, it's all going to be worth it. And I think that we'll be so alert that nothing like this will ever happen again. And that is great for our children and our grandchildren, that we stood up at a time like this when everything was exposed. And as exhausting as it is, we never gave up. We fought the good fight. And that's just another good thing we're teaching the next generation of children and grandchildren, Mike, because, they've been content sitting behind computers or playing games and being in front of a screen, getting instant gratification and stuff, instead of getting out in the world, taking action, and finding what's going on in the world for real.
Yeah, absolutely. And indictments. I heard that that Durham has more indictments coming down, and I just really think that we're getting ready to see an amazing summer. I think a lot of this will be cleaned up before November. Pence came out and said that he'll run for the presidential nominee in 2024. He ain't got a chance in Hades to ever get that nomination. I think, and it's only my opinion, something tells me that guy's going to end up behind bars as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I believe there's a whole lot of them that are, and the corruption is being exposed on many different levels. Also today in California, there's a resignation of, her name is Melahat Rafihi, I believe her name is. She announced a resignation as secretary of the California Democratic Party and state representative to the Democratic National Committee, because there's an ongoing investigation with the three-letter agency that begins with F about her paying people off and buying people and this and that. And then there's phone tappings that went on, and it goes on and on and on. So she was pretty big over there in California and one of the top people, and she decided to resign. So, I mean, that's in California. So there is hope, because, California, we know we can't give up on them either, because there's a lot of good people there that are fighting the good fight as well. So it just feels like we're turning that corner. And if just people are a little patient a little longer, and just start really paying attention, looking forward, and what's going on now, not saying, oh, that happened 3 years ago and nothing ever came of it, or that happened 2 years ago, or they've been doing it forever. That doesn't serve you a purpose of positivity at all anymore. So I'm going to suggest people just start looking forward and seeing, what comes out day to day, because I'm telling you, it will be very engaging, and you will find good things happening, a lot of good things.
Tammy, I got to ask you a question. Did you watch the show last night?
Did I?
Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Did you watch the show?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Mike. I believe I caught most of it.
Okay.
I'm all wrapped up in this.
How did I end the show last night?
You said, I'm going to leave you with this thought, right?
And what was this? What was this thought?
Oh, see what he does to me, you guys. I answered
quiz. You didn't know there was going to be a quiz. You didn't know there was going to be a quiz, because I talked about what Jeff B has shared with me.
Okay, tell me. I'm going to fail that part.
I talked about the fences around the Supreme Court, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, so I'm trying to help you here connect dots. We're talking about the House of Cards collapse. We're talking about raids on the NGO homes. We're talking about what's going on in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan. It's also going to happen in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina. There are other states that are also involved in this. Now, what did I leave last night talking about? I talked about Nancy Drew. I talked about a video that was out that was brought to my attention by Jeff B. And I talked about the suits that rolled up. Right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And, shame on me, because you and I even talked about it, and I forgot. It went over my head, because I said, I cannot believe LW is mentioning the things that he is on his show. because obviously a lot has changed in your opinions of what was going on, because you're like, no. I never thought I'd hear you talk seriously about Nancy Drew, and here you are. Because even you, Mike, Mr. Skeptic, has come to realize that maybe you were not correct, right?
I can be wrong. I can be
Right.
wrong. I don't know if I was incorrect. I'm waiting.
I'm
I'm
giving
waiting
it back.
patiently. I'm
Yep.
waiting patiently. And with all of this stuff happening at such a rapid pace, I don't mind eating crow if I have to eat
Me
crow at
either.
any time. I would be happy. Happy. Yeah, Jeff says yes, Mr.
Mr.
Skeptic. Remember how many times I had Jeff on here
Yes.
and he would say certain things and I'd be like, I don't know about that, but you know what? We'll go ahead and roll with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just want to point this out. Supreme Court,
Hmm.
the possibility, which I know it's more than possibility, they're really doing it. They're going to overturn Roe v. Wade. Okay. They're talking about gay marriage, which I don't care about. That's not important to me. What's important to me is, why are there fences up around the Supreme Court? Why is Nancy Drew putting out videos of certain people, certain dignitaries, certain people from states rolling up into the Supreme Court? We're talking about a collapse here. Could it be? And I left this question for everybody last night. Could it be that the Supreme Court is hearing things that have to do with this collapse, things that have to do with a certain thing that happened in November of 2020? Is there going to be something that comes out that they say, you know what, this is illegitimate? We got the proof right here, and they rule on it. It's just a question that I have. I have no proof. I can't verify. I cannot say that that is a fact, but I can tell you this. There are a lot of things happening right now, and pieces of the puzzle, like you said at the beginning of the show, are coming together. It just kind of seems like possibly we might see something.
Uh, I'm gonna step out there and step out in faith and say we will see something,
Hmm.
because I have yet to find anything that Mr. T has said that has gone south. Um, you know, uh, uh, Everything he has told us from the beginning of when he took his oath, and the military stood behind him, and he said he was giving this country back to the people. That was very poignant and very uh, precise. And a lot of it, people, when they hear presidents talk or different politicians talk, they're used to just getting the mouth service, and that them telling you what they think you want to hear, to either get elected, or once they're elected, to toot their own horns and look what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do. It's always I'm going to do. Well, Mr. T did say that, but look at what has gone on during his presidency, how great a shape we were in, and look at where we are now. So sometimes, I do believe, Mike, that people do have to see things and experience things in order for them to realize, wow, maybe I had a jaded way of thinking. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. And it is a bit of self reflection. And I think that Mr. T, when all this gets done and comes out, it's almost going to be like a clean sweep of every single state, in my opinion, because there's no way that if he wasn't as popular as he was, that he would be pulling all these different people in, thousands upon thousands, to every single rally. People are still in love with God and the flag, and that man, and the things that he did while he was in office, and the feeling he gave us to be proud of our country, to be proud of our military. He put them first. And boy, it's such a contradiction to what's going on now, as we all know. We're an embarrassment, and I don't believe he'd walk away. And it's not just him. We put the disclaimer out all the time. It's God first, but I believe he is led and directed by God and anointed by God, along with all these other people that we don't see on the front lines, that are behind the scenes risking their lives. out there to stand up for this country and fight for it, their families and everything else. There are a lot of unsung heroes that we may never find out who they are or know them, but they're there fighting.
Yep, you're right. Um, God gave my producer Denise a saying that she puts at the bottom of all of her emails and everything that we do, and it's one nation under God. I believe that with all my heart. And the other thing that I want to talk about real quick is I've coined the phrase lots of times that it's time to flip the switch, and I believe this switch that gets flipped is going to be it's going to blow a lot of people's minds. I think it's just right around the corner. I think what's about to happen cannot be stopped. I think we're going to realize, this is my prediction after watching that 2 with 3 zeros behind it and the donkeys. After watching that video, I already knew it was massive. And we already watched Lindell and the symposium. But I do believe Trump was 305. I do believe Trump was 305, and I think they will absolutely prove that. That switch is going to get flipped, and once it gets flipped, it can't be undone. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I think so many people had to go through what we've gone through and are still going through to make them realize that what happened should never happen ever again. And I really believe that that's about what we're going to see. And I don't know when, but I kind of feel this thing that just keeps brewing and brewing and brewing. And I refer back to the photo and the video where he said, "Mr. President, what is this?" And he says, "This is the calm before the storm." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "You'll find out."
Yeah. Now, and think about this. Kim Ellen, thank you so much for the super chat. We sure do appreciate it. Mike, and when that, and then the video I said earlier, those two things are coming back to fruition. And, people didn't count on Mr. T. Some of the people were like, oh, gosh, we're going to be in this mess and stuff. You got to take the man seriously. We've said many times before, he's no dummy. He's no dummy.
Oh.
And I've said, I mean, he's a very smart man. And
5D. 5D.
And for him to sacrifice not just his life, but his family's life and the jeopardy that they have been in and the threats all these years, why would he do it? The man had a wonderful life, and people have said, well, he was amongst those people. Do you know the bad people? You know what? Sometimes you got to learn from the inside out, not the outside in. And it was a short period of time. And just because you take a picture with somebody doesn't mean you're their best friend. Think of how many hundreds and thousands of people that man has come across. And a picture, when you take a picture, somebody will come up and say, hey, can I have a picture? Or if it's a coordinated thing, obviously with him, it's this fast. Boom, take a picture. Boom, you leave. That's what happened to me when I had those pictures with Perdue and Newt Gingrich. It was like there was a line, there's people there, you go up, snap, snap, and then you leave. Then what am I going to put that out and say, look, we're best friends. We hung out and had dinner and cocktails after, so it's very easy to manipulate people's psyches by putting fake stuff out over and over and over again, because a lot of times people want to be into the drama and want to believe that and think people can't change or learn or grow, or people aren't as smart as he really is. I mean, the man is very smart. His TV show was a wonderful TV show. So he can do many things, build buildings, golf courses, be a great president.
He's a builder. You said that. You said that on the Podbean. Trump is a builder. Do me a favor, folks. Share this video out. Let's break the algorithm. For those of you who are over here from Twitter or from True Social or Frank Speech, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Break the algorithm for us. And Debbie Beacon from Facebook has said it. Here is the best. Here's the best quote of the night. Remember this, folks. Trump never conceded. And this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to go out on a limb. I haven't watched a Trump rally. I probably haven't watched the last 6 or better, because it was a lot of the same speech over and over again. But I'm going to say this: LW is now going to start watching from this point forward every one of those rallies that Trump goes to, because I believe we will hear the phrase, "My fellow Americans,
You
the storm
flipped
is
your
upon us."
you flipped your own switch, Mike.
Just
Pretty
saying.
good. Well, remember too, he with the rallies and stuff now, the new song is Hold On, I'm Coming. Hold on, I'm coming. I mean, that to me, and he does his presidential dance. I call it the presidential shuffle. Mike, come on. The man looks like he doesn't have a worry in the world. While all
No,
of us are
he's not
stressed out
stressed out.
not at all. He hasn't aged. He's dancing. How about he's putting himself out there knowing people want to take him out left and right. And he's being a great leader by putting himself out there. I mean, he just doesn't seem to have a care in the world. And I think, boy, the stress that we're under, can you imagine the things he knows and have seen and he's kept at his vest for years and years and years to do what he's doing for this country? You have to respect and admire a man like that.
Yeah, he's God led. I believe his steps are ordered by God. Thank you, David Crumpton, for the super chat. Says great show tonight. A lot of great information. Gives me hope. With God's help, we will win. With God's help, we have won. We've already won. This
Yes.
is in the bag. It's just all in God's timing. And Trump, he is so smart. Remember when he said, "We have it all." We have it all. We should do a show. We should do a show maybe next week that's nothing but one-liners from Trump, all the highlights from Trump, everything that he said. Because I've asked you this question several times, Tammy. Has anything that Trump said not come true?
Not that I can think of. Not
Not
that
that
I
I
can
can think
think of.
of.
And believe me, I do have a list of different things he said and done because I didn't want to forget them, Mike. So I'll pull them out and I'll share them with you. If I don't do the show with you, I'll share them with you so you can report on them, because it's astounding. Because as much as we remember, Mike, there's so much that we forget. We just know that man just reignited the spirit of America and the respect for the flag and the military that have gone to the wayside for far too long. And we all want that back. We want the military, the police to be the heroes again. We want
Yes,
them to
amen.
get paid well. We want the veterans to be taken care of. That's what we want. That's America, because they've risked a lot of things, their lives, to get us where we're at right now. And we don't want to go backwards. This Biden administration and the things they're doing, it's never worked out well anywhere. There's not one case that it's everywhere. Oh yeah, read that one. That's a good one too.
Oh, this one might top Debbie's from Facebook. Promises made, promises kept. Man, what a great night. I'm like, my energy is so high because I'm feeling it, man. It's coming. And I'm telling you guys this: if you are not subscribed to LWN here on Facebook, here on YouTube, on Truth Social, Frank Speech, Twitter, get over there and follow us, because I'm giving you guys my word. Anything that breaks, anything that I get told behind the scenes that I'm told I can say on air, anything that is brought to my attention, I get phone calls as early as 6 a.m. in the morning with information, as late as 11, 12 o'clock at night with information. Anything that's breaking, anything that comes out, any of this stuff that I feel is something that you guys need to know about, I promise you this. I give you my word. LW will share it. I will come on air. Mods, no mods, I don't care. We'll fire the computer up. Make sure that you guys are signed up for the alerts. The reason why I'm telling you to follow us on Truth Social and these other platforms is because YouTube does censor us. They do suppress us. Hit that like button, smash that like button. if they don't allow you to receive a notification every one of these live videos, I post it on Twitter before we go live, and I post it on Truth Social before I go live. So you guys, if you subscribe to us on Twitter and Truth Social, I promise you will not miss a live show because I put it out there before we go live. So find us. We're on Truth Social, Liberty Warrior Nation, Tammy Nation on Truth Social. We're both on Twitter as well. We'll keep you posted. We'll put it out there just as fast as I get it. If somebody calls me and says, fire up the computer, put this out there, I'll get up. They already know they can call me and I'll get it done. So it's pretty exciting times. Like this is the shift that I've been telling you guys about. I've been talking about it for 2 months. The shift is coming. Flip the switch. Join us over at lwnfliptheswitch.com. There are millions and millions of patriots out there that are making the shift. They're making the switch. They're done buying from Big Pharma. They're done buying from Walmart. They're done supporting BlackRock, Vanguard, who turns around and funds 99% of their money funds Democratic ran campaigns. So every time you buy Crest from the mom and pop shops, every time you shop at Walmart, that funds the Democrat Party. We're done funding them. So we found a Patreon-owned business that we now shop there, and we're not spending our money anymore. That's at lwnfliptheswitch.com. If you guys want more information, hop over there, and we'll be happy to send a patriot to call you, to email you, to correspond with you, go through the entire website with you. It's a great shopping experience. I'm telling you right now, I'm proud to support them. I'm proud to support Mike Lindell and My Pillow. I'm proud to support Andy at Miles Franklin, because they're all patriots, and we are winning this battle, and it's going to be a massive, massive shift when this all happens.
And I want to say too, Mike Lindell, Mike is an American hero. He's the type of person that our children should look up to, not these celebrities or these athletes that kneel for the national anthem. Mike Lindell has one heck of a journey and a story to get where he's gotten. And now that he's here, that man has donated and put, I guess, tons of his money, millions and millions, into what he did. Now that's a patriot. That's a hero. That is a somebody, like I said, kids should look up to. And I'm looking forward to the day that when we have these politicians in, that they are representatives of the people. Again, we the people, because it's gotten so far away from that. And I believe that we'll be able to switch that up, and we got to just get the right people in there, pay attention, and we're going to be okay. And we'll keep at it, and we just keep at it, making the changes that we need to make to keep this country great and make America great again. And I'm going to say something too, Mike.
Save America.
Yes. I think Mr. T is the storm.
Hey, great point. I got to share something with you. I just got a notification on Twitter. I got somebody follow me on the Twitter that goes by General Mary Kay.
Woohoo! You better watch your P's and Q's, Mike. You're in trouble.
The general has followed me on Twitter.
We all know who that is. Oh boy.
I do like Twitter. I could put out a quick thought real quick. So Twitter, we're live on Twitter right now, actually. So we're on Twitter. I see a bunch of people popping up on Truth Social. Truth Social, just so you guys know, I know some people were saying, hey, we're having issues with our Androids. If you continue to use DuckDuckGo to sign in to Truth Social on your Android, you are able to access Truth Social with an Android through DuckDuckGo. I talked to my dad this morning, Dr. G Dub. He said he signs through every time through DuckDuckGo, through Truth Social, and he's been he can't stay off of it either. He's on it constantly.
It's awesome. It's amazing wealth of information, Mike, and you
It
get
is.
it directly from the horse's mouth, from the people, that are involved in this, from, the different politicians to Scavino to Trump himself. And,
Mhm.
I have to bring up another point about Twitter because I joined it too. Once Elon took it over and stuff, we joined together. But, another point is Scavino and DJT Jr. never were taken down off that. And I find that fascinating. And I brought that point up a long time ago
A lot of time.
for the trash that Twitter was. You tell me why were those two men never taken off? Because if you look at Scavino's posts, people got taken down off Facebook and other places for way less than, and his was a constant flow of that. So that's another data point that I can't wait to find. Write that down, Tammy. Now I've got the audience telling me to write stuff down. I do go through a lot of pen and paper, and now when Mike and I talk on the phone, or Mary, I actually type notes on my phone because everything I have to write down. But I was going to say, I just think that's fascinating. So I can't wait to see how this Twitter unfolds and how Truth Social unfolds. It's fascinating even with that,
It is, and a lot of information that comes out on on Truth Social. The things that we're talking about, the House of Cards collapse, the two with the three zeros behind it, and the donkeys. It's all over there, guys. There's so much information. If you have not signed up for Truth Social yet, I'm telling you right now, please do so. Just can't work Truth Social. Kathy Weekly, I don't know how I can help you with that. If you have an Android, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you have an Android, go to your DuckDuckGo app, type in truthsocial.com, go in there, fill out the information. Some people are saying that they get on the first time and they come back to try to get on the second time. I think Denise said she had problems with that as well. I can't help you any further than that. They'll work all the bugs out, and we're gonna keep you posted here at LWN, regardless if you're on Truth Social or not. So just stay
Yeah.
tuned here. We'll put out the information.
And it might be, Mike, because they just open up to Android and the computers as well. So there's always going to be bugs and tweaks they have to work on when they do that. I mean, that's the norm. I mean, people can always just wipe out their account and start over again. I find sometimes that works too. So because it is well worth it. And not only are just those people on there, you guys, straight from the horse's mouth, they give you up to the minute. Like they're literally like coming out of meetings or coming out of the Congress, and they'll type on there, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. So this is a good time when it is immediate. It's like boom, 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 and it'll fire off so many different things. You have to really save all the messages onto your page so you can file through them later. And they usually also have the documents attached to it. So it's not like just somebody saying, hey, we did this, and it's somebody's opinion or just an expressional statement. It is validation with numbers, audio, video, all that. So that's why I think we like it so much.
I'm gonna make one more statement before we roll into final thought, Tammy, because
Okay.
this one ought to get you going. And I just want to say thank you to Jeff B. And everyone tonight that did this. But tonight, I think I gave you and Ladies of Liberty a run for super chats tonight. You guys had the record, but I have to go back and see tonight. I might have beat it tonight with super chats. So thank you guys for helping me beat the Ladies of Liberty with super chats, because they've been kicking my butt for the last almost 2 months. So I think I might take this from you for May. I might get May under my belt. So
Well,
there you go, Tammy.
we have a show on Thursday, Mike, and it wasn't just you because I was on with you. So it's a we night,
I'm taking
not a
credit
me.
for it. I'm taking credit for it. None of those super chats said anything about Tammy. Matter of fact, I think 2 of them actually had my name on it, so I get to claim it. I get to claim it.
Do you guys see how this guy plays? He's tough. He's a tough cookie. Well, I can't wait because at the end of the month, we're doing another giveaway, and we may do trivia. So we'll have a competition because it's 1-to-1. The ladies won the first one, and then the guys won the second one. So this is going to be who ends up on top here, men or women. So there's that too.
We'll win. The men will pull it off again.
If you use the women like you did last time.
We got your guys' number now. So let's roll into final thoughts, and we're going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you, everybody, for sharing the video out tonight. Thank you for all the likes as well. Hit that like button before you leave, and share this out, because we'll break the algorithm. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, please do so. Subscribe to us at Truth Social. We're there as well, and we're really taking off. The numbers are just going crazy right now, Tammy.
That's a blessing, and that's wonderful. And my final thought's going to be, Mike, I'm re-energized. I feel it in the air. I said it before, but it's like now it's like a heavy vibration. Like, I can't wait to see what's going on in the news, because the good. What are you doing? You're laughing at my final thought.
I'm reading a super chat from Kimberly that says, "Here you go, Tammy. This one's for you, girl."
Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly, you know what? Thank you so much.
You do have fans. You do have a lot of fans.
Just you guys, just not too many, because he's very competitive, and he'll just take me off, and he'll say, "You know what? I'm going to be on for the next month because you're getting too close." He's very competitive. But my final thought is, I think it's a wonderful time, Mike. Liberty Warrior Nations on the forward move. We're doing good. We have great viewers. We have great supporters being tied in with, Andy and Lindell and everybody else. We're just really blessed. I think that it's on the move of getting more and more blessings. It's heading into a long weekend, so I'm praying that everybody has a good one, and stay positive. Get out there and enjoy the fresh air. Everything's starting to get warmed up. The birds are singing, the animals are out, flowers are blooming. It's a great time to be alive, and I'm looking forward to what's in the future, near future.
All right, you're gonna want to hear my final thought, folks. But before I do, if you guys are on your cell phone and you're looking at your chat and you haven't hit that like button yet, all you have to do is push that little X over in the right-hand corner. It takes chat off for just a second. Hit the like button, and then push the little text-looking window again, and it'll bring chat back up on your screen. That's how you hit the like button. If you guys believe Donald J. Trump has never left us and is still the president of the United States, blow up that like button, share this video out, because I do believe that. I believe he's never left. I believe he's in the fight. And here's my final thought. Inauguration Day, January of 2017. I hope I got the year right.
It's okay.
I'm pretty sure it was 17. Let's see. 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. January of 2017. DJT was standing on the stage, and his statement was this: "We are here to give the power back to the people." Mic drop. Good night, y'all. God bless. Thank you for showing up tonight, and we will see you tomorrow evening. Thanks, Tammy.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out.